Welcome back, Rich Minds. It's your boy Reno coming back to you with another video. And today's topic is gonna be 5 reasons they can't ignore you. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder for the chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, this video is gonna be based upon all the reasons of why they can't ignore you. All right. Now let me say this, y'all. It don't matter how much they try, okay, how hard they try, how they try to play it. It don't matter what they do, y'all. They simply can't ignore you, okay? And it's because of all the things that you have inside you. Yes, sir. It's because of the qualities and characteristics that God has created you to have. Understand what I'm saying, y'all? They can't ignore you. It don't matter. Somebody drop in the comments and say, you can't ignore me. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments and say you can't ignore me, okay? And so y'all already know how we do. Y'all make sure y'all leave a thumbs up on this video as well as subscribe to the channel, all right? And so we're going to go ahead and get into each and every one of these reasons. Now, number one, the first reason, y'all, of why they can't ignore you is going to be the chosen ones, a strong presence. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder for the chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, you have a strong presence, all right? Anytime you walk in the room, y'all, they're going to feel your presence. Why? Because you are vibrant. You have what they call vibrance, okay? Vibrance, some people may notice it as big energy. Some people may notice it as having a strong personality, right? Some people may notice it as just being having an outstanding presence or outstanding, personality. Either one of those, it doesn't matter. You have a strong presence, okay? Now, let me get this straight right here, y'all. It's going to be people, whenever you encounter them or whenever they see you or, they speak or maybe they don't speak, whatever the case is, y'all, on your job, at school, any place or location, it's going to be some people who try to ignore you, but they just simply can't. For instance, you done walked inside your job. Yes, sir. Maybe you have the 9 to 5 to where you can dress up, right? Or maybe you just have a regular 9 to 5 to where it's, strictly dependent on your presence. Well, what I'm saying is, y'all, although some people may try to ignore you, you're going to see the mass majority of people look at you, try to speak to you, try to get in your presence, try to come around you. Why? Because you have a strong presence, a strong aura. People just want to be around you, right? You ever just notice, y'all, how people just try to, gravitate towards you? They gravitate towards your jokes. They gravitate towards you. They gravitate towards your personality, right? It could be somebody in the room, y'all. They trying their hardest. I'm talking about they just trying their hardest. They trying their best jokes. They done put on their best suit, okay? They done put on their best cologne, best perfume, and people are still just kind of off of them. And they own you. It's because of your strong presence, right? You have a strong aura. And so what I want you to understand is, y'all, it's going to be hard for people to ignore you. Family, friends, your haters, right? Anybody, y'all. They can't ignore you because you have a strong presence. You can never ignore somebody who have, that presence, okay, of God inside them. Yes, sir. Somebody drop in the comments and say presence of God. You can't ignore somebody who have the presence of God inside them. Why? Because that presence is very, very strong. And a lot of times, y'all, you're going to scare people off too with having that type of presence, right? But it's going to be another half of that of people who just want to be around you. Understand what I'm saying, y'all? They can't ignore you. And the first reason of that, y'all, is going to be that strong presence. Period. Okay? Moving forward, y'all. Number 2, the second reason they can't ignore you is going to be the chosen ones. They have an emotional attachment. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder for the chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, they have an emotional attachment. Reno, what you mean by that? Now, before I even get into details about what I mean by that, y'all, understand something. outside of a relationship, a marriage, a friendship, your haters can have an emotional attachment to you as well, right? I hope y'all know that. Like your haters, the people who always talking down on you, talking about you, throwing dirt on your name, the whole nine. Yeah, they can have an emotional attachment to you. Why? Because they can be too into you. Okay? This is why you don't want to get too into people. However, they are not practicing what they're preaching, because they are definitely too into you, right? They are way too into you. The only being that you should be into is God, right? But for some reason, they just can't, fathom or feel like they can live without being invested into your lifestyle. Y'all got that person in your life, y'all. They just need to know every single thing that you doing. Borderline stalking you, right? Y'all ever been there? Y'all drop in the comments and let me know. What I'm trying to get you to understand is, y'all, they have what you call an emotional attachment, okay? You ever had somebody say, well, I ain't gonna call you back. All right, cool, whatever then. And click, that's it. And next thing you know, they calling your phone again in 5 minutes. They calling you again in 10 minutes. Or somebody who try not to talk to you on the job. Somebody who try not to talk to you, wherever you go, y'all. And then they turn around and they just, I can't resist it. What you got going on for the day? That's because they can't ignore you. Why? Because they have an emotional attachment to you, right? And emotional attachments they real, y'all, and they strong. And it's not always a bad thing, right? I more so look at emotional attachment, okay, a healthy one anyway, as cool. But the emotional attachment that I dislike, y'all, is with your haters. Because they are so invested into every single thing that you do. They are invested into every single thing that you say. They really want to be like you, right? And so they have this emotional attachment, okay? And you thinking that, they my haters, they ain't worried about me. They watching everything you do. They watching you, all right? Somebody drop in the comments, if you know they watching you, somebody drop in the comments and say they watching me. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop it in the comments, y'all. And so what I want y'all to realize, chosen ones, is they're going to be people who have emotional attachments towards you. And this is why they can't ignore you. No matter how much they try to act like you don't matter to them. Yeah. It don't matter how much they try to act like, you ain't nothing. You a little smaller speck on the face of the earth. They try to make it seem like you a little smaller speck. And the whole time, they probably got shrines of you, right? I hope not, y'all. I hope not. But what I'm simply saying is that emotional attachment keeps them connected to you, which means they won't be able to ignore you, all right? Somebody drop in the comments and say, make sense, y'all, if it made perfect sense, or if you're going through it. They are too invested into you. They have an emotional attachment. That's crazy, y'all, okay? Moving on to the next one, family. Number 3, all right? It's going to be this, y'all. Your delivery. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder for the chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, it's your delivery. All right, Reno, what do you mean by delivery? Delivery is the way you say something, the way you do it, the way you carry it out, the way you carry yourself. Your delivery, right? A lot of times, y'all, you may hear a person say, I would have listened to you if your delivery was on point, or I would have heard you if you had the right delivery, okay? Delivery is the way you carry yourself or the way you carry something out. That's simply what it is, y'all. And so with you, people admire the way you carry yourself. People admire, the way that you have this high confidence, supreme confidence, right? They admire the things that you do. You have discipline. You got to understand something, y'all. People who have discipline are often admired by those who don't have discipline. Yes, sir. Let me say it once again, y'all. People with discipline are often admired with people who don't have discipline. Why? Well, us as humans, we like the things, right, that we don't have. Or we love the things that we always wanted to achieve when we see somebody else have. That's what we do as human beings, okay? And so you have something that they don't have, something that they want, something that they crave, and you have it. I need you to understand something. That is a perfect reason, y'all, of why they can't ignore you. It's the way you carry yourself. It's the way you articulate your words. It's the way you maneuver throughout any room. It's the way you walk, the way you talk. It's everything about you. Your delivery is on point. Yes, sir. Somebody drop in the comments and say delivery is on point. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments and say delivery is on point. All right? I need y'all to understand something. They can't ignore you even if they wanted to, even if they tried. And like I said, y'all, even when they try, it's unsuccessful, okay, because of that emotional attachment, all right? But moving forward, y'all, understand something. That delivery that you have, the way you carry yourself, it's one of a kind. It's very unique, all right? And they don't see it every day. So whenever you walk in a room, you know, that delivery that you have, people just want to be attached to it. They gravitate towards it because they don't see it all the time, right? One thing before I say this, y'all, I never forget. So me and this guy was having a conversation one day, and I said, man, what is it, right, that women like? Like, what is it? And so it was 3 pens. He gave me 3 pens, and 2 of them was the same, and 1 of them was different. And so he lined them up. He said, choose one. And I chose the one that was different. He said, that's your answer. I said, what you mean? He said, you chose that pen because it was different. And see, that's the same thing with you. The reason why people can't ignore you is because you are different. You are unique. You're not the same. And that's something that you ought to cherish because they cherish it, right? And I just want to bring awareness to it, y'all. They can't ignore you simply because your delivery and the way you carry yourself, okay? Moving forward, y'all, number 4, it's gonna be your intelligence. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder for the chosen ones in the back. Your intelligence, all right? Now, I'm gonna say this, y'all. I hope nobody take this the wrong way, but what society may deems as dumb, stupid, right? I don't subscribe to those words. I want to say that once again. I don't subscribe to those words, but we can't act oblivious to what society is saying about certain people. You know, and some people just are not the brightest bulb in the box. I'm going to just be honest, y'all. But I say all that to say this. We tend not to pay attention to people who don't make the brightest decisions. You know, the best decisions, right? But although we let those type of people just sit to the side, we cherish an intelligent person. We pay attention to an intelligent person. I read something in the book, y'all, that says you only have to do a little bit more than the average person to be considered a genius, which means your intelligence puts you in that genius category, right? Y'all can fact check it. This ain't me just talking. All you have to do is a little bit more to be considered a genius. Why? Because majority of the world, y'all, they just do the basic. They go to work, they go to sleep, they eat, deal with their woman, wife, spouse, husband, whatever the case is, and then they repeat the cycle. Raise their kids, repeat the cycle. But see, when you are different and when you have a certain level of intelligence and when you do a little bit more than the average of society, people are going to consider you intelligent, which means they're going to pay more attention to you, narrowing it down, y'all, to they can't ignore you. You can't ignore an intelligent person, a person who makes smart decisions, wise choices, logical decisions, organized steps. It's just something about an intelligent person, y'all. It's easy to ignore somebody who is deemed as dumb, but it's hard to ignore a person who got a brain on their shoulders. They got some type of intelligence right inside their arsenal. Understand what I'm saying, y'all? And so that's the same thing with you. It's going to be hard for them to ignore you. Why? Because you have intelligence, okay? Somebody drop in the comments and say intelligence. Yes, sir. We're going to move on to the next one, y'all, which is the last one. But understand what I'm saying. It don't matter how hard they try to ignore you. It's like impossible. They can't ignore the chosen one. They can't ignore you. They can't ignore the qualities and the characteristics that God has placed inside you. They're not going to be able to ignore you. Why? Number one, you chosen. But number two, It's the characteristics that God has placed inside you. All right? Understand what I'm saying, y'all. So we're going to move on to the next one. Number 5, which is the last one. And that's going to be your anointing. All right? I speak about the anointing a lot, but it's real, y'all. Once again, your anointing. Okay? And so realize this, y'all. If you're watching this video, chances are you have an anointing and you have an appointing. Right? You are anointed and appointed. Somebody drop in the comments and say anointed and appointed, right? So let me just speak on this real quick. I need y'all to understand something. People notice your anointing. People can see that you are appointed for a specific, purpose, a mission in life, right? Most times, people are going to notice you, okay? And even those who try to ignore you, they can do that or whatever the case is, but they still are aware of your anointing. They still are aware of your appointing. They are aware. But the mass majority, y'all, they're going to pay attention to that. They can't ignore it. It's something that's felt whenever you walk in the room, okay? It's something that shines, it glows. It fulfills you. It's all over you, right? It's the favor that fulfills your face. It's the grace that fulfills your body. I need y'all to understand something. Your anointing is seen. And a lot of people will try to ignore it. But once again, y'all, the mass majority, they're not going to be able to ignore it. It's something that you just can't ignore, right? And so, y'all, in Luke chapter 4, verse 18, it says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed." You have a mission, y'all, right? You have a reason for being inside the season. You're not just here for no reason, y'all. You have a purpose. Somebody drop in the comments and say, "I have a purpose." Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments and say, "I have a purpose." I need y'all to realize and understand something. They can't ignore a person with an anointing. They have no choice but to acknowledge it. All right? They acknowledge you. No matter how hard they try not to, they have no choice but to, right? Your spirit is demanding. Your anointing is demanding. All right? So with that being said, y'all, we're going to go ahead and do a recap, and then we're going to go ahead and conclude this video. All right? So 5 reasons they can't ignore you. Number 1, you have a strong presence. Number 2, an emotional attachment. Number 3, your delivery. Number 4, your intelligence. And number 5, your anointing. Understand something, y'all. These are the reasons of why they can't ignore you. No matter how hard they try, it's almost impossible. They will acknowledge you, okay? And so once again, y'all already know how we do. We're about to conclude this video, but y'all can check out any one of the links in my description. Check out any one of my books. That's 8 Steps to Self-Publishing, a Successful Book, Rich Mentality, Traumatized by Love, as well as Family Unequal. Also, be sure to check out any one of my memberships. That's my YouTube membership, as well as my Patreon. And don't forget, family, be sure to enroll into my social influence course, where I show you how to build up your social media platform, as well as become a self-published author. I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Keep a rich mentality. Peace. What's good, family? It's your boy Reno. Check this out, y'all. I just dropped my social influence course, okay? Where I show you how to build up your social media platform, as well as become a self-published author. Understand what I'm saying, y'all? If you want to leverage your expertise, okay, you got to publish your book. But not only that, if you want to get popping and build your community, you got to build up your social media platform. And so I put that all in one course, okay? And so all you got to do is go to the link in my bio, all right? And drop in the comments, social influence. If you want to build up your social influence, click that link in the bio, and we're going to get you popping. Keep a rich mentality.